Hey you guys, welcome back to K&KInspiredCreations with Latara. So today I'm going to show you guys how I made this spring inspired jumbo cupcake storage box or gift box. So I started off by grabbing one of these like casserole dishes that comes with like the clear lid from Dollar Tree. And then I took some of my strongest scissors and I cut off the sides or the little handles. I think you can actually just break them off as well, but I ended up using my strongest scissors to cut that off. And I'm also going to cut it off of the lid as well because I really don't need it. This is going to be like a box, storage box, gift box, whatever you want to use it for. This is going to be a box, so I don't need that. And so the next thing I did is I grabbed this really pretty tissue paper or like napkins. I want to say that's what it is, from Dollar Tree actually. This was from Valentine's Day. Even though this one isn't for Valentine's Day, it's just like a gift box, a cutesy little gift box. But what I did is I just cut it down so that I wrap around the whole thing. And then I'm going to take some Mod Podge Glossy and a paintbrush, of course, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply the Mod Podge around the outside of the what I call the jumbo cupcake. And this is obviously like the bottom part, the cake liner, or whatever you want to call it. So all I did was I would apply like a section of Mod Podge, and then I would put down the napkin because I wanted it to kind of be even. Although it is kind of slanted, how it's made, it kind of goes like smaller, like bigger at the top, smaller at the bottom. So, but it still came out pretty good. Not a lot of wrinkles and stuff like that. The fact that this is already like has the little ridges in it, kind of like a cupcake does, you don't really notice like any of the wrinkles or anything as much because it already has the ridge or whatever. And so I just applied it to sections. I would do a section and then I'll put it down, do another section, and that helps with not as many wrinkles as well. And I grabbed the other piece that I cut off, and I'm pretty much just doing the same thing. Like I said, I just wanted it to go all the way around. I wanted it to look the same all the way around, like a cupcake liner would. And so again, I'm just adding that Mod Podge, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and add the napkin section by section, and that's pretty much it for that part. I do want to take a moment and thank you so much for watching my videos. You can be watching anybody else's videos on the planet, but you're watching mine, so I'm very much appreciative of that. So now what I'm doing is I'm taking more Mod Podge and just kind of sealing the top, layer onto the bottom layer because they're overlapping. You can also just cut off that excess that's on the top, but I genuinely didn't see the need to do that, so I just went ahead and laid it down. So now I'm doing another layer on top of the napkins that we just put down. That's basically to seal it so that it doesn't come off later. So there's different ways to Mod Podge. This is called decoupaging, where you put down Mod Podge, you put down, whatever it is, paper, tissue paper, napkin, and then you also Mod Podge on top, and that seals it there kind of like permanently. So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing my second layer of Mod Podge on top of the napkin so that it stays there permanently. And if this is your first time here, welcome to my little pastel bakery corner of the internet. And if you're returning, hey fake bake bestie, thank you so much for coming back. Here we create fake baked desserts, seasonal decor, and fun DIY pieces that look good enough to eat. So if this is your vibe, go ahead and subscribe. So this cupcake liner is actually for a different jumbo cupcake. The one I'm using is this one right here with the butterflies on it. I don't have footage of me decoupaging it, so I just did the footage of decoupaging the other one because it's the exact same, because that is napkin paper and it's the same way. So as you saw in the other one, there was excess. I waited for it to dry, and then I ended up taking the sanding brush that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just sanding off any excess paper. You don't really have to do this part. I did this on this one. I didn't do it on the other one, but it depends on how you like it. You can't see the bottom, so it doesn't really matter. But for this one, I did go ahead and sand off all and any of the excess like paper on the bottom so that it would kind of sit straight. So So now that looks good, I'm going to go ahead and start working on the top. So I took that clear lid. Make sure you get the lid when you go to Dollar Tree and purchase this. Get the lid. You need the lid. So I'm taking some air dry clay. This is brown air dry clay. I got it off of Amazon. This particular brown clay I got from Amazon only because I didn't want it to be like really thick and foamy. But I also ended up taking some white air dry clay and kind of just mixing it together because it is supposed to look like like cupcake, or just cupcake, I guess. And I didn't want it too brown, more of like a chocolate cupcake kind of thing. And so I'm just kind of kneading it together to mix the colors together, as well as this also helps with it not cracking. Although because it is a cupcake, it doesn't really matter if it cracks or not, but this definitely helps a lot. Something you should do every time you're using air dry clay. So now I'm just kind of rolling it out into like a large snake because I want it to go around the outside of that clear top. And this is probably the best way to roll out a snake if you have enough room. And once I made it big enough, I just went ahead and adhered it to the top. So as you can see, I'm pushing it down. I'm kind of pushing it over the edges of the top, which is actually a really good idea. I probably should have done it a little bit more because it did. Usually when air dry clay dries, it shrinks. So it did shrink up a little bit, and you can kind of see the lid a little bit on mine. And so now I'm just taking a toothbrush and I'm adding texture to my cupcake. Because cupcake is not just like smooth all the way around. The cake part isn't. It has little bumps and grooves and all that good stuff, and that's what makes it a cake basically once it's baked in the oven. So that's what I'm doing. I just take a toothbrush that I got from Dollar Tree and I just use it for texture a lot. And so I just went around until I ended up getting it to look the way that I thought would be cute. There's no right or wrong way to do it. And so the next thing I did is I was trying to figure out what I can fill the middle with so that I didn't have to use a whole bunch of air dry clay, because air dry clay is not cheap. So I ended up getting these foam balls from the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree has foam balls that come in 3 different sizes, like a 6-pack of really mini ones, like a 3-pack of medium-sized ones, and then a 2-pack of these larger ones. So these are the larger ones, and I'm just going to cut it in half because I only need half of it. I don't need a whole piece of it because this isn't supposed to be like a large cupcake, but you'll see what I mean by that. So I did take some silicone glue you can get from Amazon, Walmart, and I'm going to use that to adhere it to the inside so that it kind of dummies up the bottom, and then just kind of push the air dry clay onto it so that it all looks like one whole piece. So since this is for spring, I'm going to add some flowers to it. So these are just like some little flower molds. I don't know where I got them from, but it came in a large pack of different flowers. And so I'm just going to use this flower mold. I'm adding a little bit of baby oil to it just so that it doesn't so that it pops out easily. I didn't want it to stick to the mold. And so I'm just going to use a couple of different colored clays. I just grabbed a ball of it, pushed it in a mold, and then kind of popped it out. And I'm going to do that with this light, with this light pink, a darker pink, then like a fuchsia pink, and then I'm gonna do purple. And yeah, so I'm just pretty much gonna do the exact same thing with all of these, and I'll probably speed this up because it's the same kind of motion. And before I forget, I do want to say, please don't forget to hit that like button. I'm still kind of new to the YouTube world, so I'm still trying to grow my channel. Any little bit helps. So the next thing I did is I took some lightweight spackle by DAP, Fast and Final. You definitely want it to be lightweight. And this is what I'm going to use to basically make grass for my jumbo cupcake. Because it's for spring, that's why I'm doing flowers. I'm going to do 2 different types of flowers. The ones I just did was the first type, and then I'm going to do another type. But now I'm going to make the grass for the flowers. And so I already had a little bit of some green spackle mixed together, but it's not the right color and it's not enough. So I went ahead and added some more to it. I went ahead and added some flour to it because I know it's going to have to add a lot of green paint. So I was like, let me go ahead and add the flour. And so I'm using a spoon to go ahead and mix that in. I am using this Kelly Green paint from Apple Barrel. You can get it from Amazon, you can get it from Walmart, and that's what I'm going to use to try to get the grass color that I need. So I'm just gonna add as much green paint that I need. I'm going to add another type of green paint in there too, and that was just cheaper. I can't even remember what that was, but I just wanted a little bit more of a darker green in there to kind of darken up the color. And then I'm going to add some more of that Kelly green as well, because that was a little bit closer to the green that I wanted for the grass. Not especially as dark, but that's the closest that I would like it to be. So this is the piping tip I'm going to be using today. I don't know the name or the number of it. I just know that it has like a lot of little holes in it, which reminds me of how you would make a lot of grass, at least one of the ways to make a lot of grass. And I am just adding this paint to a piping bag so that I can start piping my grass. Definitely take some time when you go to Dollar Tree to grab a couple of these little Tupperware containers. I think they come like maybe 2 in a pack or something like that. And the purpose of that is usually, as you can see, I'm not going to use all of my paint and Spackle mixture. And so if you have something that's like has a lid to it, then you can always save it for like a couple of months until the next time you want to use it. So that way you're not wasting Spackle and you're not wasting paint, because Spackle is expensive as well. So now I'm just going ahead and taking the bag that's full of the Spackle, adding it to another bag that has a tip in it. That's just the way I do it. You don't have to do it that way. And I'm going to try it and just make sure it comes out the consistency that I needed. And the consistency was perfect. So yeah. So now I'm going to go ahead and start piping it onto my dry cupcake. This is obviously a day later. I have a different outfit on. So you want to wait until your air dry clay is dry before piping or decorating it. The great thing about Spackle is that, as you can see, if you make a mistake, you can always take it up. But then I realized Spackle doesn't like to stick to anything except for like itself a lot of times. So I decided to go ahead and just take some of the Spackle, the extra or excess Spackle that was still left in that Tupperware, and just spread it all over where I was planning on putting the grass, just to give the Spackle something to stick to. It makes it easier. I could use that. You can also do Mod Podge, but this worked really well. And so I just want to show you, this is what it kind of looks like. It kind of looks like grass, doesn't it? It's cute. But I have to do the whole thing, so I'm actually going to probably speed it up so you don't have to sit here and watch. And this is what it looked like after it was all said and done. It came out really nice. And that's pretty much all with the grass. But now I'm going to go ahead and add those cute little flowers that I made already. I'm going to take some more of that silicone glue just to make sure that it sticks permanently. And I'm going to add silicone glue to all of the flowers and just kind of put them on the outer part of the grass, because there's something I want to do in the middle. And I'm kind of just trying to figure out like where I should put them, because you know the different colors. I don't want the same color next to each other. But yeah, that's all I'm doing, is just kind of using that silicone glue and adhering these cute little clay flowers that I made yesterday, the day before. Just adding them to this cute little cupcake. And so far, I think it's too cute. I think it's coming out really, really nice. If you made something like this, would you change the color? Like, I like pink and purple. I think those are very cutesy little spring colors, but I know some people probably like more muted colors. I don't know, but yeah, just let me know in the comments. Would you keep it these colors, the pinks and the purples, or would you change the colors up to something else? Now, one thing I did realize at this point is that I only have space for one more, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this light pink one, which means I have this cute little other pink one that I can always use on a different project. Just sit it to the side, and I'm sure I'll use it on something else. And so now comes my favorite part, is making the other set of flowers. And so these are my favorite flowers. So these are from, florals that I've used before in the past where I didn't need like the whole stem. So I usually keep the stems so that I can use them for this reason right here. So I'm just cutting them down, getting as many stems as I think I'll need, and just kind of, I'm going to stick one in there. So I'm taking the air dry clay again, using the purple. I'm going to use purple. I'm going to use pink to make flowers. And all I'm doing again is I'm just kneading the clay, warming the clay up again so that it doesn't crack when it dries later. And since these are rose petals, I kind of don't want them to crack later on. So, but what I'm doing now is that I got this like little measuring spoons from the Dollar Tree, and I want to say the smallest spoon, I made about maybe 5 or 6 of these little balls, and then using the one right above the smallest one, I made it like another 5 or 6 because I want some small rose petals, but then I also want some larger rose petals. And then the next thing I do is I kind of just roll them up and then flatten them out really good. And I actually really love doing that because the petals always come out different sizes, and they all, like, no two petals look the same. And I feel like that's true in nature as well. No two rose petals or flower petals look the exact same. So I love doing it this way. I also like the fact that my fingerprints actually give it some type of texture because it's so thin when I roll it out. But that's just me. But I'm doing that for all of these to get, you know, bigger rose petals, to get some smaller ones, and just to have them look different. And so the last one, I'm not going to flatten it out. I'm just going to, it's basically the inside of the flower. And then I'm just taking the rose petals and just kind of adhering them to itself. You don't really need a glue for this since the air dry clay is still wet. It adheres really well. I haven't had any petals fall off. I make them all the time. I made them into pins and all kinds of stuff like that. So you really don't need an adhesive. You can if you want to, but you genuinely don't need it. And so now what I'm doing is I'm taking that stem and also taking some tacky glue that you get from the Dollar Tree, putting the tacky glue on the stem, and then trying to adhere the flower to it. So it's not going to really work too well. It's going to poke right through it, which really sucked. So what I did is I ended up grabbing some, my scissors, and I'm going to bend it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the glue on there. And then it worked out really well. It didn't stick through the top of the flower. So that's the best way to do it. And then we're going to make some more flowers. So I think I made like 3 pink flowers, and I think I made like 2 purple flowers, but the process is the exact same. I used the smallest of the measuring cups or measuring spoons to make about 5 or 6 circles, and then I went up a size and made about 5 or 6 of those. And then I flattened them out, and then I kept one, rolled it up to kind of so that it was the inside of the flower, and then I just started to kind of, add the petals all the way around. So I pretty much did the exact same thing, but I showed it twice so that if you were planning on doing something like this, you can see, it more than once. But after that, I'm not going to make you sit here and watch me do the other 3 or 4 flowers, because I did the exact same process. But I can say that this is a really nice kind of thing to learn how to do, because it's great to make, gifts. Like I said, I made these into pins. You could kind of pretty much do it for anything. You can maybe even sell these because they look so nice and look so real. So but this is probably one of my favorite things that I make, is the little flowers by hand using the air dry clay. My next goal is to learn how to make flowers using Spackle. That looks hard, but it also looks fun. And so now I'm just doing the same thing with regards to the stem, so that it sticks on there, and it makes it easier when you have something down there to hold. But yeah, they both turned out really, really, really nice. And now the last thing I need to make is I need to make leaves for the flowers, because obviously flowers have leaves on them. And so I took some yellow air dry clay. I was just grabbing whatever, because I didn't have, just some green air dry clay. So I grabbed some yellow, I grabbed some blue, and added as much as, because you see I didn't use a whole nother pack of blue. I just added enough to try to get the green color that I need. But I still felt like that was too light, so I was like, let me just use all this blue, because I want this to be a darker green. I didn't want it to be so light. I did use a decent amount of yellow. And again, I'm just kneading the green, warming it up so that, when it dries, it doesn't crack, all that good stuff. And so the process of the leaves is very similar to the petals. You use the measuring cups to get certain sizes. I like them to be uniform. And you roll it out and you flatten it. You can use your finger, but I'm actually going to use like this acrylic board thingy. It just makes it easier, and I am going to do a close-up so you can show you exactly what I'm doing. But what you do is you flatten it, and then you take something that has like, you know, sharp edges, and then you kind of make the little indentures into it. I don't know. This is basically what I did here. So you roll it up kind of like an egg, and then you flatten it, right? And then you take something that's kind of sharp, and then you do the vine like in the middle, and then you also use that to do like the little vines on the sides. So that's how I make my leaves by hand. You can also find a mold that makes leaves for you as well. That's easier, but you know, whatever floats your boat. I kind of like making my own leaves. I think my leaves and the leaves that you make in a mold, they both look real, but I like to make them. If I make the flower and I didn't use a mold on the flower, I like to make my own leaves too. So I am using that silicone glue to basically glue it to the flower, but also the stem. And I would say you would definitely want to do this because this flower has been sitting for a while, and so it's already starting to dry. So it could adhere to it and never fall off, but I don't like to take that chance. So when it comes to the leaves, I always add some type of glue. You don't even have to use a silicone glue. You can use tacky glue as well. Just some type of adhesive that's not hot glue, just to make sure that it stays on there permanently. And some of the flowers I did only 2 leaves. Some of the flowers I did 3 leaves. It's kind of, you know, up to you, whatever you want to do. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. I'm not going to show you me making all of the leaves because, again, it's the exact same process. But I figured I'd show you on the first 2 flowers, and then after that, you'll just see all of them done, if that makes sense. And honestly, I don't know about you, but the red flowers with the green leaves is just so pretty. Like, these came out so nice. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take them and I'm going to stick them into you remember there's a foam ball right there in the middle. So it makes it easier to stick the flowers in there, you know, with the stem. And it stays permanently that way because that foam ball is there. That's one of the reasons why I wanted it in the middle and not the air dry clay, because the foam actually gives it something to kind of, you know, go into to where it stays. And so I did use something to help me push it down because my flowers were still kind of wet. I just made them, and if I pushed down on them too hard, they would smush, and I couldn't have that. So yeah, I'm just using my scissors to kind of push them down. But oh my god, this is pretty much it. Of course, I had to add some glitter to it because glitter makes everything better. But outside of that, that's it. This is the final reveal. This is how it looks today. I absolutely love this. Probably one of my favorite pieces. I love that it's jumbo, and I love that you can store stuff in the inside of it. But that's all that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, keep it sweet and keep it creative.